At first glance, the 1976 Washington quarter looks familiar to almost every American. It has that bold double date, yet it says that it says, and the special design with the colonial drummer on the reverse. Hundreds of millions were struck for the nation's bicentennial, and for many families it became a keepsake. But what if I told you that some of these quarters have sold for thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars? Yes, the very same coin that millions of people tucked away in drawers, jars and boxes could, under the right circumstances, change your life. Let's start with the most jaw-dropping sales. A 1976 bicentennial quarter struck in 40%, silver and graded in flawless condition. MS69 or PR70 deep cameo has brought in $10,000, $15,000 at auction. And even more staggering are error coins. For example, bicentennial quarters struck on the wrong planches, such as dime blanks, nickel blanks, or even foreign coin planches, have sold for $25,000 to $40. Also, imagine finding a coin like that in an old roll. One simple mistake at the mint, turning a pocket change coin into a small fortune. Now let's dive into the history. The year was 1976, America's 200th birthday. To celebrate, the U.S. Mint redesigned the quarter, half dollar, and dollar with special commemorative reverses. For the quarter, designer Jack L. R. created the famous drummer boy design, a colonial soldier with a drum, and above him a victory torch with 13 stars for the original colonies. The obverse kept Washington's portrait but added the dual date, 1776-1976 instead of a single year. The mint struck these coins in massive numbers, over 800 million, clad quarters, plus millions more 40% silver versions sold in special collector sets. They were everywhere, in circulation, in coin rolls and proof sets, even in cereal boxes as promotions. That's why so many people assume they're worthless. But here's the catch. While common examples are worth only face value, it's the condition, errors, and silver issues that bring the staggering prices. Let's break down the values. A regular circulated 1976 clad quarter, worth only 25 cents. Uncirculated examples in MS65, $10, $20. MS67 clad quarters can sell for $1,500. Silver bicentennial quarters from mint sets, normally $3.5 in average condition, but the best of the best and flawless, MS69 or PR70 deep cameo proofs, have soared to $10,000, $15,000. Major mint errors like double strikes, off-center strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planche, $20,000, $30,000 even, $40,000 at auction. And here's another fascinating detail. Because these coins were so heavily saved, finding a flawless one might sound easy, but it isn't. Most were tossed into drawers, handled, or stored improperly. That means coins with absolutely perfect surfaces are extremely scarce. Despite the massive mintage, registry collectors, those building the finest sets in the world, will pay shocking premiums for that one coin that grades just a little higher than the rest. Another reason the bicentennial quarter is so beloved is its role in American culture. This was more than just a coin. It was a symbol of national pride. Families saved them as souvenirs of the 200th birthday. For many kids in the 1970s, the drummer boy quarter was the first coin that got them interested in collecting. And today that nostalgia drives demand even higher. Auction houses love to highlight these rarities. Heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers, and even eBay have all seen bidding wars break out over high-grade examples and rare errors. The combination of history, patriotism, and rarity makes the bicentennial quarter irresistible to both seasoned collectors and newcomers. Now, picture this. You're sorting through an old coin jar at your grandparents' house. You find a shiny 1976 quarter. Maybe it's silver. Maybe it has unusual toning. Maybe, just maybe, it's an error coin. You send it off to PCGS or NGC, and it comes back as a top-graded rarity. Suddenly, a coin that sat ignored for decades is worth thousands of dollars. That's the magic of the 1976 bicentennial quarter. And here's the reality. Every year that passes, these coins get scarcer in top condition. More are lost, more are scratched, more are mishandled. That's why collectors are willing to pay staggering sums for the survivors. It's the law of supply and demand. And in the world of coins, scarcity equals value. So the next time you see a 1976 double-date Washington quarter, don't dismiss it as ordinary. Check it carefully. Is it silver? Is it pristine? Does it show signs of a mint error? Because the difference between 25 cents and $25,000 could be hiding right in your hand. The 1976 bicentennial quarter isn't just change. It's a piece of American history. It's a symbol of the nation's 200th birthday. It's proof that hidden treasures still exist in plain sight. Imagine holding a coin that millions of Americans once spent without a second thought. A simple quarter from 1970. Now imagine that same quarter selling at auction for $35,000 or more. Sounds impossible, right? But it's real. The 1970 Washington quarter hides some of the most shocking rarities in all of modern U.S. coinage, and tonight, we're diving deep into the story of this seemingly ordinary coin, a story of mistakes, scarcity, and staggering values that turn pocket change into life-changing treasures. Let's begin with the headline grabber. The 1970 proof Washington quarter struck on a Canadian plancher. Yes, you heard that right, the U.S. Mint accidentally struck a batch of quarters on blanks meant for Canadian coins. These dramatic mint errors are among the most desirable modern rarities, and when they appear at auction, they cause fireworks. One of these coins sold for over $35,000, instantly turning a 25-cent piece into the price of a brand new car. That's the kind of jaw-dropping number that captures attention far beyond the coin collecting world. But that's just the beginning. Because even among the regular 1970 issues, there are opportunities for huge value. The 1970 Washington quarter had a massive mintage, more than 417 million coins. The 1970 proof, over 2.6 million struck. On the surface, nothing about those numbers screams rarity. But here's the catch. Survival in the highest possible grades is extremely limited. Collectors know that condition is king. A 1970 quarter that's been through circulation is worth only its face value. But the same coin, pulled fresh from a roll, carefully preserved, and graded MS-67 or MS-68 by PCGS, transforms into a four-figure prize. One pristine MS-67 Plus example sold for over $2,500. And when you consider that only a handful of coins exist in such grades, it makes sense why registry set collectors will pay staggering sums to own them. Proof coins from San Francisco add another layer of intrigue. Most 1970 proof quarters are worth maybe $5 to $10, but the very best, those with deep cameo contrast and a flawless PR70 grade, can't command $1,000 or more. Add unusual toning or dramatic die varieties and the price can climb even higher. Why is the 1970 quarter so fascinating? Because it sits at a turning point in U.S. coinage. Just 5 years earlier, in 1965, silver was removed from quarters entirely. Americans were hoarding older silver quarters, pulling them from circulation in huge numbers. That meant fewer collectors were saving the newer clad issues. And today, that lack of preservation makes pristine 1970 coins extremely scarce. But the real magic lies in errors and varieties. Collectors chase after doubled dies, off-center strikes, and plancher mistakes. Imagine finding a 1970 quarter struck 40% off-center. The dramatic misalignment instantly makes it a coin worth hundreds, if not thousands. Or the ultimate prize, the Canadian plancher error, a 1 in a million mistake worth tens of thousands. These aren't fantasies. They're real coins documented and auctioned to eager bidders. Let's talk about values in plain numbers. Circulated 1970 quarters, worth only 25 cents. High-grade 1970 coins in MS-66, around 100 to 200. Push it to MS-67, and you're looking at 500 to 2,500. MS-68? If one surfaces, it could easily break $5,000. 1970 proofs? A normal one may be $5, $10, but in PR70 DCAM, you could be looking at $1,000 or more. And the legendary Canadian plancher proof error? 35,000 plus, and possibly higher if another example hits the block. That's what makes this coin so compelling. It represents every aspect of coin collecting: history, errors, rarity, and condition. For new collectors, it's a lesson in why you should check every coin closely. For investors, it's a reminder that modern coins can compete with the great rarities of the past. And for treasure hunters, it's proof that life-changing finds are still out there in pocket change. Coin rolls and old collections. Think about it. Right now, in a box of forgotten coins, a 1970 Washington quarter could be waiting. Maybe it's flawless, maybe it's an error. Maybe it's the kind of coin that transforms a regular day into the best day of your life. That's the thrill of coin collecting. That's why the 1970 Washington quarter has become a legend. Because in the end, what looks like just another quarter can turn into a $35,000 treasure. And the only way to know is to look closely at the coins you already have. So next time you see a 1970 quarter, don't toss it aside. Don't assume it's worthless. Take a closer look, because you just might be holding one of the most valuable modern quarters in existence, a hidden gem that proves once again that treasures are still hiding in plain sight.